I want to leave my mark on this world and leave it knowing that I made a difference, that I did my part in making it a better place for those left in it. Hello, my fellow veterans and friends. Thank you for visiting. I'm Greg Gagne, a disabled Blue Water Navy veteran of the Vietnam era. Due to my disabilities and being involved with the VA, my eyes were open to the fact that the VA had programs and processes that veterans are not even aware of, especially their younger veterans. Because of my disabilities, I have become aware as to how the VA process health claims. It can be very frustrating dealing with the VA, I know, because of my own health issues with the VA. So I made it my mission to try to make a difference in the lives of veterans and their friends by creating a tax-exempt nonprofit organization called Veterans Corner in 2015. All the expenses incurred has been, was, and is still being paid through personal funds. For me, I want to participate in the game of life instead of sitting on the sidelines. In making that difference, I need your help to share the content and to bring awareness to veterans through your family, your friends, your neighbors, and veterans as well. I hope the information that I'm sharing will entice and inspire you to join me in this mission. Topic for today: Agent Orange has been an ongoing problem for years for the Blue Water Navy veterans. To start, we must define what is Agent Orange. Agent Orange is a herbicide mixture created in the United States and used by the U.S. military during the Vietnam War. It contained a dangerous chemical called dioxin, and it is still making an impact on our veteran lives today. After decades of fighting, Congress passed the Agent Orange Act of 1991. And it forced the VA to admit that the chemical is not only harmful, but deadly. Agent Orange was used to kill the trees, bushes, plants, and anything that could hide the Viet Cong forces from ambushing our soldiers and to destroy crops that might feed the enemy. The ratio mixture used by the military, Agent Orange was 20 times the concentration that the manufacturer recommended for killing plants. Agent Orange was sprayed by air. It fell on the forest and on our soldiers. VA articulated that Navy veterans who did not step on land were not exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam and did not qualify for Agent Orange benefits. Question: how did Navy sailors come into contact with Agent Orange? Agent Orange was sprayed over the forest. The rain would wash Agent Orange into the rivers and then float into the inland waterways and harbors. Once Agent Orange reached the harbor, it was sucked up into the shipboard water plant to use for cooking, bathing, and drinking water. If a Navy sailor can produce documents that can show he received the Vietnam Service Medal, then the VA would concede. This medal was usually issued to Navy sailors who operated offshore during the Vietnam era. I received the Vietnam Service Medal, the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal, and I received the Navy Achievement Medal with the citation authorized to wear the Combat V. Guess what? I was on 2 ships totaling 24 consecutive months that not only anchored in Da Nang Harbor, we provided naval gunfire support and support up and down the Vietnam coast. Plus, I served on an aircraft carrier that operated within the 12-mile rule. While doing the research, I came across 2 claims for Agent Orange. One claim was accepted and one was not. Now there's a big problem with this because both of the men were on the same ship at the same time. Can you imagine that? So I have to ask the question: how Da Nang Harbor is an inland waterway for one veteran, but not an inland waterway for another? So what does this mean for veterans who served on ships while in Da Nang Harbor? There's a strong, reasonable argument to be made because Da Nang Harbor is an inland waterway that is surrounded by a 3/4 landmass with only a 4-mile opening to blue water, and it is inside the Vietnam territorial borders. Therefore, Navy veterans should be eligible for presumption of exposure without proving that they set foot on land in Vietnam. In fact, the Board of Veteran Affairs reached that very conclusion in a decision from 2009. If the veteran's service was conducted on a ship that frequently anchored in a harbor within the territorial borders of Vietnam, the evidence of record clearly shows that the depth of Da Nang Harbor varies between 27 and 32 feet only, and is well sheltered and surrounded on 3 sides by the shoreline of Vietnam. As a result, if a Blue Water veteran wants to succeed with an Agent Orange claim, he must prove that they stepped foot on land or the ship he served on went up a river. This can be shown through deck logs, personnel records, or even photographs. In fact, in 1967, as part of the United Nations Law of the Sea Conventions, the boundary lines of a nation's inland water at the location of a harbor was defined as the line between the natural entry points to the harbor as long as the entry points are no more than 24 miles apart. The opening to the sea of Da Nang Harbor is only 4 miles wide. In addition, a Supreme Court case, United States versus Louisiana, which was 394 U.S. 11 in 1968, strengthens the argument that Da Nang Harbor is an inland waterway. In that case, the court stated that whether particular waters are inland depended on historical as well as geographic factors. Certainly, shorelines configurations have been deemed to confine bodies of water, such as bays, which are necessarily inland. Again, the VA is unwilling to provide any historical or legal authority to support their claims that the Da Nang Harbor is not an inland waterway. The Board of Veteran Affairs already made the correct decision one time in the 2009 decision referenced above. And we hope that the VA will be forced to acknowledge that Da Nang Harbor is an inland waterway. The arguments for Da Nang Harbor being an inland waterway greatly outweighs the VA's internal policy that is nothing more than an arbitrary distinction. The Mr. Gray case is extremely important. A veteran who served on a ship in Da Nang Harbor. He never went ashore, but his boat anchored there several times and actually tied up to another ship that was docked. If Mr. Gray prevails, this decision will force VA to grant benefits to all the sailors who went into Da Nang Harbor and any other deep water harbor in Vietnam. This case, hopefully, will put the Blue Water Navy sailors that went into the deep water harbors on the same footing as those that set foot on the ground in Vietnam. With the Gray case, our argument was, look, this is an inland waterway. It's not outside the coast. It's surrounded by land on all 3 sides. We were saying that VA interpretation of their own regulation was overly broad as to what blue water was, and that bays and harbors are brown water and shouldn't be called blue water. When they do, the court was very explicit, as we have stated, that the interpretation has to be based upon exposure where the Agent Orange was sprayed. And the VA cannot come up with all these arbitrary discussions, such as depth of water or even openness to the sea. Conclusion: Blue Water Navy veterans are now entitled to a presumption of service connection for illnesses related to Agent Orange exposure. This is a result of Public Law 116-23, the Blue Water Navy Veterans Vietnam Act 2019. The law was signed on June 25, 2019, and took effect on January 1, 2020. This law will make a difference in the lives of about 90,000 plus blue water sailors that were on ships between the years 1962 to 1975. Personal note, I was not aware of this law and only found it last year in 2022. So, how many other Blue Water Navy sailors have knowledge about this law? I rest my case. My friends, if you deem the information that I'm sharing with veterans to be relevant, please spread the word to your family, your friends, your neighbors, and veterans as well. Again, I hope that today's topic will entice you and inspire you in joining me in making this difference. So if you wish to be a part of this adventure, just click the Patreon link for more information. My friends, thank you, take care, be safe, and God bless the United States.